in the course of their exercising their mandate, they consult appropriately. What I said earlier on is that they are yet to give me the final brief with regard to tomorrow's announcement, which they will do today. So there's no contradiction whatsoever in what she's saying. Thank you.
Let us go to, we will start Odgun and then Koech and then Wamawade, and then we'll go for the last round.
Thank you, Chair. Though the acting MD for Epra just confused us more, fuel is not just a commodity, Chair. It's the backbone of our economy. And any opacity in its procurement, pricing, and quality control is not just mismanagement, Chair, but a burden to Kenyans. So my question is on companies, which companies are pre-qualified for the G2G framework? Number two, there are rumors that these companies are in the framework: Galana, Orex, Gulf Energy, Ashirami, Starbeck, and One Petroleum. So who is Starbeck in this case? Because it is visibility, it's not in the public domain. My third question, 1 minute. Can the ministry, Chair, can the ministry table all the pre-qualified companies to this committee so that the parliamentary or the public can scrutinize them and know more about those companies? My final question, CS, was the company that was used, to outsource the controversial fuel, since the PS and other people resigned, was that company license revoked? Is it still being used? Because if people resign, and I'm happy that you said they were not coerced on resigning, then what happened? Was that company that was used punished? Was the license revoked? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Chair. And Chair, we hear courtesy of a communication from the Speaker, and the report is expected back to the floor. The report of which the CSCR knows, having served as a ranking member and equally at one point served as a chair for Public Accounts Committee. Having said so, Chair, there are critical issues that the country needs to understand, and especially the common manager, who is the consumer. Whether this product that was announced through a lab report that they were substandard found its way into the pump. And as to why I'm asking so, Chair, is because sitting as a member of the Energy Committee, I have had the benefit of visiting Mombasa. And I know the process that when a vessel comes, it docks, it discharged into a tank. And at this particular point, I am of the opinion that maybe these tanks, or we all understand that these tanks are not always empty. Of course, there are quantities that were there before. And if it's discharged, what are the possibilities that you need backloading? And secondly, Chair, on the same, there is this one, the one company that the CS has said, the two of the companies, that is Petroleum and Oryx. There's this one company, Oryx, that seems to have said that they are not going to take back their fuel. What happens? Who is going to pay for the losses? And you know, Chair, we are in a country that is governed by the law. Oryx Energy. Oryx Energy have categorically said and communicated to the Department of Energy that they are not going to take back their consignment. And you know, Chair, we are governed by a constitution and a law that whereas you have signed a contract, you either pay for that contract or you cannot take back the product. You either take it or you pay for it. So Chair, who is lying? And you accept it. So I would like to understand, Chair, whether I'm asking this on behalf of Kenyans.
Order, Elisha, please. Proceed, question.
Yeah, my question is very straight. Whether One Petroleum, the tanker that was carrying, or the vessel belonging to One Petroleum, whether it's discharged its product into our tanks in Kenya. Thank you, Chair.
The last one, yes, Mawade. I know you. It's not that. I know you are engaged in other If it is a parliament and you might have walked in when maybe a question will have been raised. If it happens, then I will gladly correct you that this has been answered, so that, and if it is not answered, then we can be able to proceed. Karibu Mawale.
Chair, thank you for gagging me as I attempt to ask my question, and I will not be gagged. You can rest assured of that. Bwana Waziri, I want to reframe a question that has been asked here a few seconds ago. Was the petroleum consignment offloaded in Mombasa, anywhere in Kenya? Second, can you please give this committee the list of the companies that we issued letters to on them holding or not releasing the petrol? Petrol is used in all sectors of the economy. So as you answer this, know ye that we have been seeing queues in petrol station, people being sent away in petrol station, border queues at petrol station. So when you tell us, we know you are outside the country, but when you tell us here that there is no shortage, I don't know which country you're talking about, because we had queues in Nyeri, we had queues in Meru. My colleague, about 2 minutes ago, received an SMS, Mheshimiwa Tom Modege, and we agreed that I'll mention him, that in his mother tongue, indicating Waziri Riambo.
Order.
And I'm going to quote.
No, order. No, we cannot.
Okay.
I
can read it. I can read it.
No, but you cannot read it in that language that I don't
Okay, I was going to translate. Okay.
And we don't have.
Waziri, I will translate.
Order.
I
will allow you to do that.
Yes.
But don't put it in any language. Just put it in a language.
English. No problem. No problem.
Okay.
My friend, Waziri is not telling the truth. There is no petrol in Migori here right now. We can give it to the chair if you want. So continuing. So my point is, you can give us assurances here, but the truth is what we are seeing on the ground, and the common Mwananchi, we don't have petrol. We don't have petrol in our petrol stations. So on the issue of resignation, we have seen 4 gentlemen resign, and as we are aware, as we are aware, in any ministry, the buck stops with the CS. There has been hue and cry out there as to who is to be held responsible of the mismanagement of such an important ministry as the Ministry of Energy in the country. So the buck stops with the CS, as we are aware. So please share with us. And then in every country, most of the countries, not every country, I misspoke, a lot of the countries, they have NOC, national oil companies in their own area. I know it has been mentioned before, but in 2018 and 2019, I was a member of this committee, my chairman was a member of this committee. We had agreed that we will revamp, but we keep on getting stories. Tutafanya, we will do, we will continue to do, we are still working on it. From 2019 to date, we are still continuing to work on it. Now that we are aware of the people that were not willing, now it's probably one of the gentlemen, will not be afraid to mention it, who was really not so supportive of the NOC to be revived is no longer, has resigned a few days ago. Can you, Waziri, give us an assurance as a country that you will support the reviving of NOC so that we can have sufficient fuel for the fuel reserves as a country? Thank you, Chair.
I had no intention whatsoever to gag any member to ask any question. It is not my intention, and it will never be my intention. However, actually, all these things that are indicated, Waziri has actually given, other than one that you have made, asking
Chair.
the 25. Just a minute, order.
Chair.
The 25 companies that you wrote, some that is required. But because you are a senior member of this committee and a ranking member, I will request Waziri, as you answer the other questions, just briefly re-explain and give a brief on that. So we'll start with, we had started with what good? Yes, I think. Karibu Waziri.
Honorable Chair, let me start with the Honorable Odgun. And the matter of which companies are players in the G2G framework is public knowledge. But I have to reiterate for records that the government of Kenya is under the G2G framework dealing with 3 international oil companies. These are known. That is Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, the Emirate National Oil Company, and subsidiary of Saudi Aramco. Okay? 3 of them.
So that is Saudi,
ADNOC, ENOC, and Aramco. Okay? It is these international oil companies, the 3 of them, that then under the framework, the master framework agreement, go ahead and nominate the local oil marketing companies, support them in the importation process. And amongst themselves, they have nominated 6 OMCs. Starbucks is not one of them. Let me repeat for avoidance of doubt. Starbucks International is not one of these 6 OMCs. It has received a beating in the recent past for nothing, if you ask me. Yes, but again, perhaps because of lack of information. Starbucks International is not one of the 6 OMCs nominated by the international oil companies for purposes of implementing the G2G framework. The 6 are 1 Petroleum, 2 Oryx, 3 Galana, 4 Asharami, 5 B Energy, and 6 Gulf. 6 OMCs. Nothing more, nothing less.
all these are local companies.
They are local companies. Even if they have got in connections out there, but at least they are locally constituted, incorporated. I've said many times again, and to indulge me, Honorable Chair, kindly, we are allowing investigations to be completed by the DCI. And therefore, we haven't reached a stage where we can say as government, we are revoking anybody's license. Okay. What we have taken are measures, okay, momentary measures to manage the situation. Obviously, there will be more actions as the investigations conclude. Okay, so let's just be patient a little bit to allow that process to conclude. The second cargo by Oryx never discharged. It never actually, it never even berthed. Okay, so the question of where it went is neither here nor there. What I know is that we gave instructions that it will not be allowed to discharge. As to any consequential legal matters, again, let us not anticipate. I humbly plead, because it could be prejudicial to subsequent processes.
But the orders are already through your directive,
yes,
that Oryx, which has not even birthed, will not discharge.
Correct.
So that is the final.
That particular consignment.
As to whether they will go for litigation.
Yeah. Of course, Oryx continues to bring fuel
through the
G2G arrangement. Yeah. And we are very happy with what they are doing to us for us. Okay. Again, I did say. Sorry.
Order.
Sorry.
I asked if the ministry can let the committee see the pre-qualified companies, and you did not answer. Can we still see the agreement, the framework of the pre-qualified companies? Because you say the step back is not there, and we hear a lot about it. Can we see the agreement?
Actually, we can. We have already done we have submitted some documents, but we can resubmit some more documents, and you can scrutinize them in totality. Okay. In fact, you can even visit these companies as a committee. You know, I once chaired a committee in this house. You know, nothing stops you from visiting anybody and compelling them to provide evidence of what they're doing.
But for clarity, is to say that the government of Kenya is in an agreement of G2G with 3 international companies.
Correct.
These 3 international companies have appointed local companies, the 6 that you have.
Yes.
Would, if they were to add, would you have a problem?
We would have no problem. We would have no mandate to stop them whatsoever. In fact, I also saw some sensational reporting about B Energy. Yeah, B Energy was nominated by Aramco. It's not the ministry. It's not anybody else in the government. Yeah, and B Energy qualifies as an OMC to participate in the G2G framework if duly nominated by an IOC. Okay, so this undue pressure on Starbucks and BE, Honorable Chair, is unwarranted. Yeah.
Chairman, just an interlude on your
Let
question.
him finish on
an interlude, just on your question.
No, I didn't have a question.
For comfort. CS.
Order.
I've just read the tweet from Trump, that is blocking the...
Order, Elisha. Please. Let's have some order.
Actually, I was just trying to amplify what I said earlier on, that at the inception of this G2G arrangement, those IOCs had nominated only 3 OMCs. But over time, they have added 3 more. And they go through a KYC. Understand what a KYC means? KYC, yes. You know your customer. It's some kind of due diligence. Yeah. On Honorable Mawathe, the issue of list of OMCs given no-show letters, they are there. I don't know who has it. Can you read them?
Chair, they are there, but we didn't print them. We have them on soft. I request through Honorable Chair and the members that we give them later on.
Chair. Send them directly to the clerk's office, who will be
guided.
Chair, on that issue, this is an issue, a matter of public interest. It is not a must that he present them to you now, but he can read them so that also the public can know that it's an issue that is of public interest. Let's share with the public. He can read them and then bring them down, table them later on. We humbly request, Chair, that he be directed to read them, please.
Okay. Honorable Chair, I will assist the DG.
Correct.
I've got a few names here. If that satisfies the committee.
25. The 25.
I don't have 25. I don't have 25. I'll read what I have, Honorable Chair, if you allow me.
Let me direct like this. Just read what you have.
Yes, yes.
Then the acting DG will submit the rest. Proceed.
Yes, you may have to bear with me because I have to open my phone. WhatsApp. There is a company called Peter Lusweti Filling Station in Kwanza. Peter Lusweti Filling Station in Kwanza. There is there is Station 1 Filling Station in Kaplamai, Kitale. There is, Honorable Chair, Zabco Filling Station in Sibanga, Nairobi. I'll just read a few of them if you allow me. There is Jovis Filling Station, Kwanza. There is Milimani Filling Station, Sibanga again, Kitale. There is Equipetrol Naja Filling Station, Muriuri, Kirinyaga. And then there is M7 Kilaunti Filling Station, Mailisaba, Kitale. Then there is Kathijim Filling Station, PIA Kirinyaga. I'm just finishing. And so on and so forth. And there is Klaus Energy Station, Sheriani Kilifi. So I can submit them, all those companies and the stations which have been acted upon by Epra for one reason or another. Honorable Chair, let me address once again the issue of purported fuel shortages. You know, Honorable Chair, the fact that there is turmoil in the world market of petroleum products as a result of the war in Iran. Every sensible person anticipates that there will be price increase. Every sensible consumer and trader, for that matter, suspects or imagines that there will be a price increase. So this triggers two actions on the part of consumers and on the part of business persons. On the part of consumers, Honorable Chair, it triggers panic buying. And that is what was evident in the weekend that has just passed, and previously in the weekend of Easter. It triggers panic buying. Some consumers, of course, innocently fearing that there will be shortages, so they fill their tanks, and that has a compounding effect. If you find a large number of vehicle owners filling their tanks, it has got a compounding effect. But it also triggers an action by the retailers and the OMCs. It is common sense. It is common sense, and the Honorable Barongo can tell you this. It is common sense that if you are a trader of petroleum products and you know for sure that Epra will announce its new prices on Tuesday, tomorrow, and you anticipate, rightfully or wrongfully, that there will be price increase, then there is a tendency, there is a motivation to hoard so that you sell at the higher price. And that is what we are mitigating by this ruthless crackdown by Epra. Epra has embarked on a serious, ruthless crackdown on entities, on filling stations, on companies engaging in these immoral and illegal activities. And we shall not stop at just sending them show cause letters. We have agreed with Epra that very severe action in accordance with the law will be taken against entities that are found to have violated their licensing conditions. This problem, of course, will end tomorrow, because tomorrow there will be an announcement. So there will be no more motivation to hoard. Yes.
Are you preempting?
No.
Order. Proceed.
And Epra is going to go to Migori and elsewhere. Yes. Thank you.
The question that was asked, and it was read by some statement from some, can Epra, is it Epra, whoever is concerned, tell us whether there is petrol in Migori? Is there a petrol shortage in Migori? You don't need to answer if you don't have, but you can make a follow-up immediately and give us an answer before we leave, so that I wouldn't want us to go, because we said when I started this meeting that we have invited the public, and rightfully, as a statement has been read, it is good for us to be able to, give factual information.
But even as the answer, Honorable Chair, as the DG Epra comes in, it is important to point out that Migori ordinarily would source its fuel from Kisumu Depot. Ordinarily. Okay? And as we speak, Honorable Chair and members, Kisumu Depot has got 5,359 cubic meters of super petrol, PMS. And it has got 25,045 cubic meters of diesel. And of course, 1,736 of IK. Yeah. So there is no shortage of fuel in Kisumu Depot, and therefore the petrol stations, filling stations in Migori, should have no reason for lacking fuel. So if they are hoarding, we are going to embark on a serious crackdown immediately. And the Epra officers on the ground, I'm sure they are following these proceedings. Yes.
Whoever was sent that message should tell us which petrol station so that Epra can send people. Anyway, we go to the very last one to finish. We have Gimose, and then we take two more supplementaries. Gimose? Gimose, and Mumulanya, Sawa. Okay, Gimose.
I mean, it's a short question, a kind of appendix to what Honorable Mandasi said. Now, despite the procedural iniquities that are apparent in what you have described, was the importation of the consignment necessary? And if so, its return, has it affected the fuel in the country?
Has it affected?
The fuel, has it caused any fuel shortage or improved the fuel shortage, whatever it is, in the country?
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Wazir, I've been listening to your presentation, and especially on the matters to do with the G2G, you mentioned the three international companies that have appointed the local oil marketing companies. Now, suppose we have these local companies engaging in malpractices. Those local companies that have been appointed by the international companies. And as you said, this particular arrangement for the fuel in dispute, the one that was the fuel that is subject of this discussion, that was brought in outside the G2G and OTS. So suppose we have an oil marketing company that has been appointed by maybe Aramco or any other of the two. What are you supposed to do? Do you want to tell her that you are helpless? Is nothing you can do as a ministry? Thank you, Chair.
Waziri, nijibu alafu ndio tumalize. Gimose and Mulanya.
Chair.
Sorry.
Chair, please.
Give those answers and then we'll make a decision.
Let me just say this, Honorable Chair. The matter of whether the importation of this particular consignment was necessary or not is tied to the issue of fuel stocks, okay, or data on fuel stocks, which, as I said earlier on, is being investigated very actively by the DCI. So I will not say whether it was necessary or not. But secondly, Honorable Chair, I have said it has had no impact on the cost of fuel for the reasons I mentioned earlier on. Two, any possible action on an OMC duly nominated by an IOC. Honorable Chair, as government of the Republic of Kenya, nothing stops us from dealing with any entity, any legal entity, which violates conditions and terms of its license. Nothing stops us. But as I said earlier on, such action would have to wait until we are sure of what really happened and who did what, so that we can apply ourselves properly. Yes.
Okay, honorable members, I think we are done.
Chair.
One order.
Chair, there's one.
Let me give directive. Order, members. Order, members. I will just say, so that again we are not, because I think the Waziri has given, there are some few issues I would want your clarity. But if that clarification has already been clarified, I will gladly ask Waziri not to take it. So I will ask Barongo, Mawade and yourself and Elisha, but if it is already been alluded, it has already been the facts or rather presented, then I will just tell Waziri not to give. If it is anything that has not been asked, then again I will allow that. Let us agree like that. So we start with you, Kengara.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to remind you that I have a name. I'm Simon Ngakinga, representative of rural people, the most populous in the whole country, actually. Sincerely, Mr. Chairman, because of the nature of what we are undergoing today, fuel in general is an enabler of this economy, and we should not take it for granted. My proposal is, since it's touching many stakeholders, this is the fuel people, the consumers, the suppliers, the ministry, the government at large. Why don't we have an inquiry whereby we can bring everybody on board and we clear it once and for all? Thank you, Chair.
For our committee to decide. Elisha?
Chairman, I was mentioned, just for clarification, I think Pius has mentioned that there's fuel docking in Mombasa tomorrow. But I was saying, CS, I've seen a tweet from the President of the United States saying that any hour from now is blocking the Strait of Hormuz. Blocking today.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're savvy on Twitter, you'd know. So it's important that we get that clarification, whether that will affect any future consignments or we are using the new route, which is not passing to the port of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz.
Okay, yes, Barongo.
Chair, thank you very much. I think there is there are a few questions that have been asked by members and which have not been answered.
I keep record of each and every question that a member is asking, and I follow the response.
So there is the question
Which one is this?
So there is the question of, did this vessel, the one petroleum vessel, discharge? Number two, right at the very top of this session, I just want a yes or no answer. Did National Security Council write to the ministry
asking the ministry to explore alternative petroleum importation avenues to diversify the sources in light of the conflict in the Middle East.
Waziri, utajibu hiyo ya hiyo moja ya National Council, ile ingine ilijibiwa, will go back to records. Yes, Mawade.
Thank you, Chair. As we thank you, Chair. As we discuss the issue of the price or the cost of fuel, especially tomorrow at the pumps, we should consider that this is affecting every Kenyan everywhere, in all their spheres of their operations. So now, the question, the petrol that we are just about, that is in the country, was imported a while back, maybe a month or 2 or 3 back. And so it was imported at the cost that was not affected by the current situation in the Strait of Hormuz or by the Iran war. So the cost, as Epra and the Waziri, who is in charge, as they consider on how to cost the fuel tomorrow, they should put in consideration and let the Kenyan and be aware that the Kenyans know that the petrol that we are just about to give the cost of tomorrow was imported about 2-3 months before the war before the fight, and so it should be based on that. Actually, we should be talking about probably going lower. There shouldn't be any excuse or reason whatsoever that the cost of petrol should go high because it was imported before the price increases of the barrels of importation. Thank you.
Waziri, I will allow my vice, but my direction to you, just answer the Hormuz, whether it will have an effect, that if Trump has tweeted that he's going to close, and secondly, there was a letter by the Security Council advising. Now those two, let me hear what my vice is.
Chair, I just want to write on what Elisha was saying. Whether if Trump blocks that tunnel, Waziri, do we have a plan B in importing these oil from either Nigeria or any other country so that Kenyans will not suffer long term? In terms of when we say Trump is saying that he will block that Strait of Hormuz, do you have other plans by government?
Okay, thank you.
Waziri, very straight answers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Will the Hormuz affect, and I think the last question is also very valid, whether you have any other options.
Okay, thank you very much.
And the last Barongo is yes or no.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. You will recall that the Strait of Hormuz has been closed for a long time, at least by the Iranians. Okay, and this latest development will not add much to the situation as far as we are concerned. Why? Because long before even this latest tweet, we had discussed with our partners, our G2G partners, and they have assured us that they are able to source fuel from alternative sources across the globe. And they have been doing that. Okay? So that should not raise any cause of alarm. We are confident that our IOC partners are going to be able to get fuel to suppliers. The issue of National Security Council Committee, Honorable Chair, this is a very serious matter. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to delve into the matter of a letter from the National Security Council Committee. Yes.
You know, security-related matters,
Yes.
or specifically on that.
Yes.
As a committee, I had said earlier, much as it doesn't touch on this, but I would want it to remain as it is.
Yeah.
And we'll be looking as a committee.
But suffice it to say that that letter was never addressed to me. So I never saw it actually until now that these issues are emerging. Okay. Then there's something that you didn't want us to talk about, but we need to let us talk about it. The import cycle, for record. The fuel that we are costing tomorrow is fuel that arrived between the 10th of March and the 9th of April. Okay? That is the fuel that is going into, whose cost is going into the pricing that will be announced tomorrow by Epra. And you will recall that the war in Iran broke out on the 28th of February, long before the March-April cycle began. Okay? So there's no hidden card. Yeah. So thank you very much, Honorable Chair, for this audience.
Thank you, Sana. Honorable members, just a quick one on 15. I call it bullet 15, discussing about question number 10. The ministry and its agency are continually reviewing their processes. What are the timelines that we expect to find some finding and maybe proposals from you? Again, bullet 16 talks about this measure is aimed at reinforcing transparency, safeguarding quality. These measures, again, the timelines that we are looking forward to, so that again we don't stay as a committee and then there is never a finding or a report or something like that. And lastly, in bullet 17, the ministry continue working closely with the relevant agency. Are they the ones, or what are these relevant agencies over and above what we have here that you are working with, and maintain oversight? Now, which are these oversights? Just to understand, so that we can.
Okay.
And lastly, Waziri, I think these are the questions that we have here. I think I was asking them as we were proceeding. So maybe you can give us the...
Thank you. Honorable Chair, as you know, the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum and the State Department of Petroleum in particular does not operate in isolation. We have, in the course of our duties, interact with relevant or various agencies, both internally and externally. Internally, of course, you know them, but externally, you're talking about KRA, KEBS, and so on and so forth. So we are working very closely with them to ensure that we have got adequate oversight mechanisms in place. That is what that settlement means. On the issue of the review of processes and systems of petroleum products importation, we have actually embarked on it, and holding all other factors constant, we are confident that within 2 months we should be able to have an outcome, a report that will inform the next course of action. Remember, we are doing this parallel to what the investigative agencies are also doing. The outcome of the investigations may also inform what ultimately we do in terms of implementing new processes and policies. Thank you.
Asante sana Waziri. I think as a committee we want to say, oh, sorry. I didn't. Sorry, Karim.
Thank you, Waziri. Chair, sorry for coming late. Najua ni jikesho, but sorry for coming late. Aladwa George, Member of Parliament, Makadara, Nairobi County, member of this committee. Sorry for coming late.
Actually, karibu sana Aladwa na other members. I think it is important. Other members. I think karibu sana Aladwa. We are just at the tail end of our discussion with Waziri. Now, Waziri, let me say, it is good that you have come here. And it's also good that the cameras are here. Many people had thought it was a hidden agenda. I think you have put out your case for any questions that is out there that the public did not get clarification. I think now the clarification is out there. As a committee, we have 2 or 3 more people that we want to interrogate so that we can make this is a matter of a great public interest in the country. And as you have said, yes, the pricing and maybe the hoarding might end tomorrow. And you remember, Honorable Waziri, if you look at some places in Nyeri, one of the border was saying we care less about the prices, just give us the product. And that, of course, was worrying when people just say, give us the product. But you know the net effect is that it is the consumer who will meet the cost. So even as a boda says, then he will increase from 50 maybe to 70 or 80. At the end of the day, it is the Kenyan public that will bear that cost. But it is good to have expounded and given us your presentation on this matter on some grey areas, so that we also stop this issue of people going to public meetings and funeral and alluding to all sort of allegations. And I don't know how much money was found, I don't know where, and things like that. I think it is none of our business to know how much money somebody was found with, as we had something that we are really looking forward to. To the new guys in the 2 offices, you really need to take stock of what your predecessors did in terms of their work and how they have conducted themselves. We wish you all the best in your, of course, we are not the appointing authority. Again, we leave it to your respective appointing authorities, that if they deem fit, then maybe, but it is for you now to take up from where we left. And particularly Epra, we want to tell you that you have the enforcement section with you, and what has been said and the report that you've given out, show cause letters, we want to see the outcome of those letters so that Kenyans should not suffer, particularly if there is a petrol station that was charging over and above. And Waziri has said it is not only letters, it must be followed with an action. If any person is culpable, then they must take their. And as for the investigation out there, we will leave the DCI to proceed and continue and conclude with their investigation. Ordinarily, as a committee, what our standing order directs is that we can inquire, we can get some information like this one, make a report, but ordinarily the report is, can DCI or EACC or any other government agency take action? And that is basically because we don't have that investigative power as a committee. So I want to say, Waziri, thank you for at least coming today to clear the air on all the grey areas that was out there in the public, and your assurance that we have enough stock for this country for the coming so many days, as you have indicated. We will be retreating as a committee, hopefully tomorrow. Actually, Waziri, we had sent out letters to KPC. We were to visit them and just see these figures they are telling us. How factual are they? And we are coming to see whether you are telling us millions of liters and there is nothing, or the main players are not taking out the stock to take it. So we'll be coming. We will shelve what Epra has said. We wanted also to see if we walk to a petrol station and they say they don't have fuel, we wanted Epra to call them and tell us whether, and we want to thank you that you have actually gone ahead, and you will be giving us some report on that. So to all the players and the members, asanteni sana for coming up early enough. We will be retreating. Hopefully tomorrow, once we have visited, we'll make a decision. We'll go to KPC today just to confirm those figures and their data that they have. We'll be making a decision once we are done. Waziri akitoka tubaki kidogo so that we can be able to make that decision. And to the press, I hope hakuna maneno ya distortion. I hope facts have been given. Hapa mweke ile vitu watu wamesema, mtu asiseme amekuwa misquoted. Asanteni sana kila mtu. The meeting is adjourned.